What's up, everybody? The Honda CR-V is back for its 6th generation, and we're going to go over all the improvements and changes for this model, as well as focusing on the pricing and packaging for this vehicle. And in general, I do think that the CR-V falls just a little bit short, in my opinion, because of some of the improvements and changes that Honda could have done a little bit better, in my opinion. But for this video, we're going to quickly go over the basis. So the EX and the EXL trim are gas only, and the Sport and the Sport Touring are going to be the hybrids. So let's go over the exterior. The Sport and Sport Touring trims are going to be the best looking. We get smoked out headlights, new grille, black painted wheels. On the rear, we do get the LED looking Volvo headlight, taillights things, and the CR-V has been doing that a while now. And 2 exhaust outlets. The EX and EXL are pretty bland, and I don't really think they're worth going over, so I'm going to go to the interior to make this video just a little bit shorter. So the interior is going to have many similar elements to the Civic, meaning infotainment displays, honeycomb dash design, HVAC controls, and a whole lot more. If you want a more design-based video where I dive deep into it, I do have a video up on the channel about that, but in general, I do think that they could have designed this to make it a little more premium and have a bit better tech than what the Civic offers. And in fact, this is missing things that the Civic is offering, which I'll go over in the pricing and packaging. But I do think for regular people that this interior will be easy to get into, figure out, and also learn as well. You do get 0.6 more inches of rear legroom, and the rear seats also have 8 angles of reclining, which is pretty nice. You do get body stabilizing seats in the front, and then 36.6 cubic feet available behind the rear seats, and 76.5 when those seats are folded down. So making the CR-V bigger did help with the storage space. The rear floor is also flat, so that's going to help with those middle drivers as well. But let's get into the performance, where the CR-V makes minor improvements here. So the EX and the EXL are gas only, as I said before, and we're going to see that same 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. Honda says that they improved the emissions and the engine noise for this, quote, significantly. So that's going to be good there. Torque rises about 300 RPM earlier from 1700 to 5000. So it kind of seems like they put a sort of a Civic Si tune here in terms of power delivery. For the hybrid, we do get that 2-motor hybrid system, and this is going to be connected to the 2-liter engine running on the Atkinson cycle. The combined output is going to be 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. So the torque is up 15 pounds, but you do lose 8 horsepower. So that's going to be kind of a wash in terms of acceleration. And just for reference, this does fall short on power. The RAV4 hybrid has 219, the Tucson makes 226 and 258 pound-feet of torque, and so does the Sportage. So again, Honda is underpowering their vehicles a little bit, but at least this gets better MPG than the previous CR-V, and it now gets up to 43 MPG city and 40 highway for the Sport model, which is a pretty good improvement, and that's good that Honda actually improved it, and that was something I was worried about. So as long as the fuel economy has gotten better, the horsepower doesn't really matter in this situation. You do get a better top speed for the hybrid of 150 miles compared to 86. And you also get 1,000 pounds of towing capacity, which frankly isn't that great considering that the Tucson has like 2,000 pounds and the RAV4 hybrid has like 1,750 pounds for that. You do get a continuous variable transmission for both, and you also get an updated real-time all-wheel drive system as well. This will be standard on the Sport Touring trim. But again, with this hybrid, it is disappointing that Honda didn't add a plug-in hybrid variant. That'll tide us over until their late entry into the electric car market with their Prologue in 2024, which will be based on the GM's Ultium platform. And they could have just taken, some part spin, like using the same 2-liter engine. Maybe take the battery pack from the Honda Clarity, combine that, and then you have a plug-in hybrid. And I think they actually did something similar to that in China. And I think that vehicle makes around 212 horsepower as well. They would just need to boost the power output to make it competitive with what the Koreans and Toyota is offering. And of course, Honda stancing will be standard. Now, I want to quickly go over the pricing. They're dropping the LX trim, which means that the days of the CR-V being under 30 grand are now gone. I'll put the prices up here on the screen, but Honda removed the LX trim, so that means the CRV now starts at $4,300 and $10 more than the model. If you compare the current EX trim to the previous EX trim, it gets a price increase of $1,800, which still is a lot of money in my opinion. So if we go over the gas models first, you're going to start with the EX, which is going to be $32,355, and that's going to get you the 1.5 engine with the CVT. You're going to get that 7-inch touchscreen, and for over 30 grand, as I said before, there's no reason that a 7-inch touchscreen should be in a vehicle in 2022, especially at this price point. You're going to get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with that, the partial digital instrument cluster, dual zone climate, moonroof, heated outside mirrors, LED lights, 18-inch wheels, and also heated seats. For a little bit more, actually for about $3,000 more, you get the EXL, which is $35,000 and $5. That's going to include leather seats, the 9-inch display, which you should have gotten from the beginning, wireless charging, and also 8-speaker audio system and low-speed brake control. So not a lot is being added here, to be honest, for the price. So now let's get into the hybrids. You get the Sport, which is going to be $33,000, $695, including the Destination again. And that's going to be that 2-liter hybrid system, as we went over before. For the price difference, I think it's kind of dumb if you don't get the hybrid over the regular 1.5 engine, because you get more power, you get better fuel economy, and it's better looking. So for the price difference, I think the hybrid's a no-brainer. So you get the better looks for the Sport model, and you also get the Sport-specific seating surfaces, as well as a leather-wrapped shift knob and steering wheel as well. So now we get into the big boy, and that's going to be the Sport Touring, which is going to be $39,000, around a $6,000 difference compared to the Sport model, and there's no model in between there. That's going to be standard all-wheel drive, 19-inch wheels, 12-speaker Bose stereo system, Honda satellite-linked navigation, and also Wi-Fi hotspot capability are standard. So as you can see here, pretty simple trims. But as you can see, there's a bit of a feature disparity compared to different trims throughout the lineup. And you also notice that there wasn't a whole lot being added to each trim, because there is a lack of features once again from Honda. For example, there's no pano roof, there's no ventilated front seats, there's no heated rear seats, there's no heads-up display. The digital cluster from the Civic, and the Integra also gets this, is not present in this vehicle. There's no upgraded infotainment size compared to the Civic. There's no fog lights, 360 view camera, and the car doesn't even have parking sensors, and that's just a whole bag of features that is being left off this vehicle. And I just want to point out that the Accord, a vehicle that was released in 2018, currently has a better feature set than the 2018 CRV. And you can get a 2-liter with the 10-speed automatic. That's available for a similar price, or you can even get a well-equipped Accord hybrid for the same price of the CRV. You do lose out on the practicality if you were to get an Accord, but I think you get what I'm trying to say here. And I just feel like Honda has been resting on their laurels ever since the Civic, and every vehicle subsequent after the Civic, which I think is an A+ vehicle, has been somewhat disappointing in some way, and I made plenty of videos discussing that. So the most recent example is the HR-V, and I fully expected that to have the same feature set that the Civic has, but instead they reduced the features compared to the Civic, and they also gave it an underpowered powertrain, while it gets worse fuel economy than even this CR-V. And it feels like they did that in order to funnel people to buy the CR-V, but when you buy the CR-V, they didn't pack it with enough features and upgraded tech significant to the HR-V. So even if the size of the HR-V suits your needs, you're making a lot of compromises if you go to that vehicle, because they don't offer those things that come with the Civic and then the CR-V, if you know what I'm trying to say. So it's like the Civic Si and the Integra, where they decontent the Civic Si to make the Integra look better, instead of just making the Integra a better vehicle. And Honda's pricing has been going sky high in terms of other brands. While the interior is slightly more premium than something like a RAV4, I would say maybe. But again, the tech you're getting is inferior compared to what the current RAV4 is offering, and that's been on the market since 2018 as well. And if you look at the Koreans, you could get pretty high in trims before you reach the starting price of a CRV. For example, you get a Tucson N-Line or a XRT for similar money. For the Sportage, you can get an XX trim. Even for Mazda, you can get a CX-50 Preferred or Preferred Plus in the same price range as a CRV, EX, and a Sport trim. And I haven't even talked about the CX-5 from Mazda as well. The CX-50 is more expensive and bigger. But Toyota pricing is about similar, but even then, you can still get a Venza Limited. The top of the line Venza, the only thing you're going to be missing is the panoramic roof with the moon gaze mode and then the heads-up display. But even then, you still get more features than the CRV because you get like rain-sensing wipers, a 360 camera, bigger infotainment display, and the hybrid system is just going to be more reliable than this. Though the Venza is smaller, but I think you get what I'm trying to say here. So I think Honda kind of messed us up, and it just falls a little bit flat in my opinion because they're just missing the tech, the interior differentiation from the Civic, and they could have just done a little bit better here. But that's just my opinion. In conclusion, I give it about a B minus. But those are just my opinions on the Honda CR-V. I hope you liked the video. I hope you were able to get some information and why I feel like it didn't live up to its full potential. But the reviews are going to be coming out pretty soon. I think the 19th. So this is just a little fun thing I wanted to do. But thank you for watching. Have a good one. Peace!